Hey everybody, welcome back to Horror Trans, and my name is Stephanie Bree. I am a transgender woman. I talk about all things horror, and today I'm finally tackling the much requested Midsummer or Midsommar. I don't know how you say it. It's spelled Somar, but I guess they say it's summer, Midsummer. I don't know. This movie is weird. I want to be careful how I approach this movie because I want to be respectful to the culture it is cataloging. It's not necessarily a documentary per se. I mean, it isn't. But it's showing a side of a European, uh, you know, Germanic tribal culture, Viking ish culture that you don't see a lot in horror movies. So I want to be respectful to that. And it's a beautiful movie. Beautiful cinematography. The movie is shot for shot, frame by frame, start to finish, a treat for the eyes. I will give you that. Absolutely. I can't tell you what the story is. One, I don't want to spoil it because this is one of those the ending makes the movie, so I can't really tell you anything about it because if you go into this with any kind of preconceived notions, it's gonna change your views of the movie. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I'm not a fan of the ending. It doesn't work for me. I watch it and I raise an eyebrow. I'm like, okay, that's what it is. Sure, I've seen a bajillion horror movies, too many to count. Obviously enough to do 10 horror reviews a week and hopefully make, sustain my, content levels because I've seen so many fucking horror movies. So I wasn't enamored by the ending of this movie. The beginning of the movie is kind of boring. It's kind of like, oh my god, what did I get myself into? It feels like early 2000s ish, really shitty teen horror movie. So you feel like, oh my god, this is going to be a fucking Touristas or whatever. It has that vibe. And then it takes a weird twist. So you got these kids, I'm going to say college age kids, going on a vacation in Europe to experience this once in a I'll say once in a lifetime. I don't know how often they do it, but we'll say once in a lifetime midsummer ritual. This is one of those cultures where once you hit a certain age, you jump off a cliff and splatter yourself all over the rocks and sacrifice your life for the tribe, for the village or whatever, for the greater good. And then they have a big feast in the honor of the dead. That's the gist of it. Obviously, it's a horror movie, so you can connect the dots yourself. I'm not gonna give it away. I hate this movie. I'm gonna tell you not to watch this movie, and I'm gonna tell you not to watch this movie because of three reasons. One of them is personal, so take that with a grain of salt. Reason number one, it's over fucking rated. This movie is classified as the so-called elevated horror, which I hate that term, or high horror. I've heard that thrown at it as well. I hate that term as well. My term for this is boring as fuck. Number two, the reason why I'm gonna tell you not to watch this movie is quite simply this movie is boring as fuck. Nothing interesting happens until the goddamn end. And this is not like other movies where, like, Sleepaway Camp or We Are What You Are, where you get to the ending and you're like, clapping, like, holy shit. Yes, that's what I needed to see right now. No, you get to the end of this movie and you're like, that's where they're going with this? That's what all this build-up was? It's a big fucking letdown. It's not worth it. The third reason, I'm going to be honest, it's personal. When I started transitioning, I was working with a boy that I had developed a crush on, and he was not a fan of horror movies at all. But he recommended this movie to me, so I watched it, and then he, didn't just reject me, he fucking cut me out of his life. Blocked me on Facebook and everything. Blocked my phone number, ghosted me, etc. So he did me wrong. And so I'm kind of like, fuck this movie for personal reasons. So like I said, take that with a grain of salt. That being said, like I said, shot for shot, frame for frame, this is a beautiful fucking movie. It's a treat for the eyes. So it's a rent. It's a rent, but it's a watch. It's a rent that's worth watching at least the one time. Check it out. Watch it. Awe at the beauty of this movie, yes, and then put it out of your mind, because there's no reason to revisit this shit. Not unless you're in college and you need it for a thesis or something like that, I guess.